Hey guys, welcome to the Collider Games podcast. This is episode 5, and we are going to be sitting here talking about Fortnite with two epic Fortnite players. We've got Ken Napzok and Dorian Parks here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us in time for the launch of Season 5.
Wait a minute. I'm not an epic one. I have 3 pickaxe skills, but I can tell Dorian could probably kill me.
No. You said, I'm not an epic one as well. Like, I love playing it. Not epic.
It was just a pun on the developer name. Okay. You guys calm the heck down.
All right. Hyping me up because I don't want to get challenged.
Dorian and I could team up and take you out, Joey. Let's do that.
You missed the stream that I put up earlier this week that I think I streamed for about 45 minutes, kind of just to test out, streaming on the channel, and I got 1 kill.
Yeah.
How far did you make it, though?
Early on. I think top 15 at one point.
That's all that matters. Like, I go for, trying to go, make it longer, make it as long as possible.
I don't know. I feel like I have false numbers in that because I always, I land as far out as possible and work my way in. It's like by the time I see someone for the first time, it's already at 40 people left or 30 people left.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
I'm a camper. Yeah. At least I started out. I've gotten a little more brave.
You just find a bathroom stall to stay in with a gun trained
I
on the door.
hide in the kitchen, the bathroom. I tip a table over, point a shotgun at the door. That's the skill set.
See, I'm a camper as well, unless I'm with a squad. If I'm playing with people online, then I'll actually be more courageous and go out. And
it's good though to team up with some people to get you out of your comfort zones. Cobster, Christian Rubicabla, gets you out of your comfort zone. He grabs you
in more ways than one.
Yeah, he does. He grabs you and says, "We're going in." And I'm running through. Me and Cody Hall are running through the fields, going hiding behind trees, and we're doing it, and it's helped me grow as a player.
Yeah, honestly, I got the advice of watching some of the streamers that are real pros at it, just to pick up the techniques and things like that.
Yeah,
because there are little things I was watching people chopping down trees and not chopping them down all the way because
it can make noise.
Yeah. And it's all the building. Anytime I find someone, I see them building long before I see them.
Yes.
So that's usually the indicator. So I'm shitty at building because of it, because I feel like every time I start building, it's going to be this is going to give away exactly where I am.
Well, you look at some 13-year-old in Tulsa who's just building a mansion with his materials in 5 seconds, and I am wall here, where's the stairs? I'll put a wall here. Boom, I'm dead.
Yeah, right.
I just can't do it.
Because it's once you see somebody or something, you're all right, what do I do? All right, build, and I'm oh wait, what button do I click? All right, dead. I don't know how to switch between this
circle,
roof or
right, left, right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was talking about this on the stream a little bit. Is that with most other games, you start to get the reflexes really quickly of with Halo. Whenever I was playing that online, if someone came up in your face, you'd have this panic moment where your hand would tense up, and I was okay, that means that my melee attack is going to be R3, and just push that down because your hand tenses up when someone gets in your face, and you just immediately melee. And it was this is perfect. I'm gonna make that part of the strategy. But with Fortnite, when you panic, what you got to do is you got to start building and defending from every area. And I immediately forget where the circle button is.
Yeah.
And if people can't tell already, we all play on PS4.
Yeah.
So we are outside of the cross-platform shareability now.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of okay with, because when you play with PC players, they're more precise. Those buttons, the controls they use with it, they're deadly.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with not playing.
You're so right, Dorian, because I feel if you're playing those type of games on PC, you're a classic gamer. Now, I've been growing up with video games my entire life since the 80s, right? Commodore 64 is where it's at. But I feel as though I couldn't last against those people. They're just too good. Too good.
Yeah, Ken, I kind of missed out on the fact that you were a gamer while you were here, because one of the very first things that we worked on together was E3 2017.
Yeah.
And you were in on Awesometacular as the straight man, making all the puns and acting like you didn't know a thing about gaming.
Yeah.
And so I was oh, okay, he's just a very good improver.
This old dude doesn't know games yet. I understand. I play characters a lot online.
Turns out, yeah. But yeah, no. So you've been a gamer for a while, and it was something that I stumbled on your stream through the Wanger show,
right?
And watching Cobster stream, and when we started talking about Fortnite on the channel, everyone's you need to get Ken, because Ken plays Fortnite like crazy. He's been getting better and all that,
Yeah, man. I mean, we were saying off air a little bit. That word "gamer" is really weird nowadays. Like, what does it mean? There's a negative connotation to it sometimes, but I think we could take back what it means as on the positive side. And I grew up with it. So I was born in '76. So I was around when like my dad was turning the TV into a Pong game. Like, let's try this out. And then the Commodore 64 comes down. I didn't have the Nintendo. My neighbors, my friends had it. My parents didn't give me the Nintendo.
Right.
My dad was like, "You don't need it. We have the Commodore 64." And he and my now late uncle, his brother, would trade games on floppy disks that were floppy back in the day, and we had over 300 games.
Damn.
So I was just like, "This, I'm great. I'm good."
See, my dad had a similar mentality in like, you don't need a console because you have a PC. But I never like. You would think that would make me a PC gamer, but it was like, you don't need a console. Here's Jumpstart 3rd grade. Here's Math Blasters.
Yeah.
This is going to be your gaming. All right, fine. We'll play Age of Empires, but that's because I want to play Age of Empires.
Oh, Age of Empires is great. I had like a dolphin spelling game. Like a dolphin would go underwater, and you'd have to grab pieces of coral with the letters on it
with
and
the
make
right
words.
letters.
Like that's how I started things. And then when I got I think my friends had all their 64, and then regular Nintendo and all the stuff in between. But like it was the Sega Genesis about 93, 94 was the first one. I saved up my money and bought on my own. And then that was like, the Commodore 64 is a thing in my past for a good reason. But it was, fun playing the classic games.
Do you remember how much the Genesis was when you bought it?
I don't know.
It was really expensive. Like thinking back on it.
Back then, I can't remember, but I do remember like, I got this and 2 games. And
right.
Sonic came free with it. So I don't quite remember, but it's price points have always been an issue.
I remember seeing some of those adjusted for inflation because people complain about like when the Xbox One launched, it was $500,
right?
And people were complaining about that. It's like, but if you adjust for inflation on all those old consoles, like Super NES was about that price. It was just $100 at the time,
right?
Or whatever the price point was, but on the scale, I think it was something like it was like the Jaguar or the Sega Saturn or something like that. That was like nearly $1,000 on just the scale of adjusting for inflation. It's crazy. But now we get games like Fortnite for free. And everyone can be part of it, and it's ever changing. We're starting season 5. Today, the day we're recording it is, the day it comes out. But for you guys, season 5, you guys will already be experts.
Building
you guys
things
will
away.
already know Paradise Palms back to front. It's fine.
You'll be
I'm not bitter at all.
Dorian and I will be hiding in a mansion going, are they coming? Are they coming?
Just chilling. Wait, so it comes out today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right,
so
go home right after this and play it.
Exactly.
I was going to be on some shows here, Collider. I'm canceling my appearances and going home to play.
Taking out my sick out, using my sick hours right now.
Right. So a bunch of stuff got added for it. We finally get a 4-seater vehicle.
Right.
We get some golf carts this time around. Then we had the shopping carts before. And those were things
you needed a friend to make those effective, right?
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, I feel like you need a friend with the golf cart too because it's designed for squad mode.
You can't use it on.
Well, I think you can maybe, but you can't shoot and drive at the same time. I would imagine
that's tough.
It's probably if you're going to use it in solo, it's probably more for just getting across the map. But who wants to do that?
I mean, well, it could be effective. If you're like me, you land over there in the flush factory, and then you realize you got to get away from that storm.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's the best way to use it if you're a single player trying to just like dodge a storm. Yeah.
Well, so one of the things they're also adding is the temporal rifts that are scattered about the map, and it's like a little like warp that you go through, and it drops you somewhere else on the map.
Oh, great.
But the way it works is it's random where it drops you, and it drops you in the air above, so you're parachuting again.
Okay.
So you can kind of decide where you're going to be based on that a little bit. You got a little bit of
got some time.
But it won't like drop you in the storm. Let's say like you're getting in.
I don't know. Possibly.
Ooh.
Possibly. And the other thing is, I don't know if that rift disappears once you go through it. Someone could potentially follow you. I would imagine, maybe it disappears. But you know, like we haven't played season 5 yet, so
True.
We'll find out soon.
Well, that's some weird looper crap. Let's do it. Let's jump in and find out where.
Well, it'd be really cool to like have a squad be able to go through and just like poof, 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 poof. Yeah. But at the same time, if like you're trying to get away from someone and you go through the portal, like they just pop out right behind you with a parachute, and you're like, just waiting to land right behind you.
And I'm not the best with a parachute. I always parachute a little too early. Click on the glider.
We got to play together because like every time I'm playing with somebody else, they're like, all right, we're jumping off now, and then they end up like landing in the spot. And they're like, where you at? I'm like, all right, I'm coming. I'm still like, I'm trying, and then I have to end up walking over like 2 minutes later. Or
I parachute like as early as possible because I want to see everyone like go ahead of me and just see where all the bodies land, and I'm like, go this way.
Yeah, that's again. Copster's great at that. He's like 3, 2, 1, go, and I'm like, I'm still tying my boots, man.
Yeah,
trying to get to the end.
I think the very first thing, like, because I'm nervous about like playing games live, just because second you screw up, like, all right, that's on the internet forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really liked recording, like when we were in here playing Smash Brothers. I liked sitting here and recording that and just playing with friends because then you don't think about it and then you can just post up the recording later. Yeah. But at the same time, like you want to do it live and things like that. So very first thing I did when we were streaming Fortnite live was like I opened up the map, or I didn't even open up the map. I went to go click to open up the map, and I clicked X instead, and just jumped like wherever I was. I'm like, well, shit. I guess that means I'm going.
Right.
Yep. Also, I beat Frank in Super Smash Bros. On like you can go check that out. It's on YouTube. By the way, I just want to put that out there. There's been a lot of rivalry between us.
Frank had some harsh losses in that.
He's been taking some L's in the fighter gaming, especially with that Beat Saber.
Yeah, well, Beat Saber too. Yeah, have you heard about this game Beat Saber at all?
I have not.
It's a VR rhythm game where instead of like a Guitar Hero guitar or something like that, you might be, because instead you have lightsabers.
Okay.
And so there's these boxes coming at you.
You have me.
And you have to like cut the boxes in a specific direction, like Fruit Ninja kind of.
Okay.
But the boxes are coming at you in rhythm with the music.
All right. If you've ever seen me dance at a
wedding.
If
Roka can do it.
If Roka can do it.
Roka did just fine.
Roka put some energy into it. It was.
I would imagine so.
Frank has the technique of moving his body as little as possible, and like just the efficiency thing.
I would imagine that.
Yeah,
knowing Frank the editor like I do, as little as possible.
Roka was more focused on dancing than he was like slicing the blocks, but at the same time he was still doing it, and he would put so much effort and force into each slice. It's like, you're going to be worn out by the end of the song.
I bet I'd work up a nice sweat. That'd be good cardio.
That's the thing. It's very good, especially when you strap a VR set to your head that you can't let the sweat out of.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden your vision just goes foggy and you realize it's because you're
I have a hot inner core. I'd be sweating it up there. Check that out.
Honestly, Beat Saber has been tons of fun, and like, just having the VR setup in here has been awesome. I want a lightsaber eventually in a
real lightsaber
in Fortnite.
Oh, and fight. Oh yeah. I've had a lot of people on my stream begging for that. Like, wouldn't that be cool?
Like I mean, because you've got the axe and you like, or the pickaxe, and you mentioned some pickaxe skills.
I have 3 pickaxe kills as of this recording, and it's the proudest accomplishment of my life. Like, I've done a lot of cool things in my life. I've met a lot of great people. Nothing as great as killing 3 people with pickaxes on Fortnite.
So what is your technique when you play? Is
scream?
It's
a lot of screaming.
You're dropping into one specific location every time, and you got a path.
I've definitely grown as a player, right? Yeah. You like I said earlier, you team up and you start learning new things and everything. So I'll go to the Loot Lake Island, and the house in the center is one of my favorite spots. I'll go to Tilted Towers. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I was afraid of it for a long time. Mm-hmm. So it depends. Sometimes I'm like, let's just dive in and do it. Other times, let's go find somewhere, camp, take our time, walk through the wilderness. Mm-hmm. So occasionally you'll run into someone too early where you're not mentally prepared.
Yeah.
And that's where I found I've got my 3 pickaxe kills.
Interesting.
2 times I didn't even have a weapon, didn't have a gun. And there was one. This is why I wonder if the game's good for society. They had a sniper rifle, and I had them pinned in a corner in a stairwell, and I just hacked them to death as they tried to shoot that sniper rifle but couldn't reload it in time. And I'm like, ha-ka! Ha-ka! And it was brutally violent.
Oh god, I had one the other day where I parachuted in and it's like there's this like little hole cut out of the top of a like a storage unit in the junkyard.
Yeah,
and I could see like some purple weapon at the bottom, and I'm like, I'm gonna drop right on it. I'm gonna parachute right in, and I parachute in, land on it, turn, and there's someone else there. And I'm like, pick up the weapon, and like, didn't work out in my favor.
Yeah.
I got a couple shots off, and like they nearly died, but it was the amount of like they already had a weapon, they already had it drawn, and like they were just going for another weapon. But it was just this split second like comic moment of wait.
It's you guys talked about it earlier when the panic sets in.
Yeah,
the panic sets in.
Especially when you don't like when you're looking for a weapon, you land somewhere you think there's going to be a chest or something, and there's nothing. You're like, oh shit, I need to find something. I need to find a weapon or something like that. Like that moment until you find that weapon, it's like the most nerve-wracking thing.
Breathe a sigh of relief. You really do. Like, the prison is my favorite place. Just generally there by myself, picking up a bunch of weapons, going to a tower, and waiting, and then I've still been killed immediately. But the hunt is part of the fun.
I had one where I didn't even realize it. I was in top 5, and I was like, oh, like this. Before that, I was playing fine. I had a kill or two, and then the second I looked down and I saw that I was in top 5, I like the panic set in. I was like, oh god, this means something now. There's only really, really good A-level players left. I'm gonna find an outhouse. I'm gonna hide in it, and I'm just gonna have a shotgun trained on the door.
Yeah. It's like in Young Guns where the bounty hunter comes for him and he hides in the outhouse and kills Charlie Sheen. Like that's my hope. Let's dance.
That's the play style. Dorian, what about you? What's the strategy?
Mine is pretty like similar. Like if I'm playing with a group of people, we're usually like, all right, let's go land somewhere far away, try to loot, get some weapons, get some health packs, some slurp juices and stuff like that to stock up, and then we'll go and attack. But if I'm like playing by myself and I'm just like, all right, let's make some moves, I'll usually try to go to like Tilted Tower or something like that and just try to destroy shit.
So that's the thing. I feel naked without at least like 50 shield.
Yeah, now I do. First, I didn't pay attention to it as much, and then when you're streaming it on Twitch, you have a lot of coaches in your ear,
right?
And shout out to my unofficial Fortnite coach Bedore on my Twitch stream if she's listening. There, she is an expert player, and she'll sit there in the stream and be like, "Footsteps." She'll type footsteps, people out behind you, and I'll wait and I'll hear. Oh, she's right. Yeah. So I've gotten better because of my watchers, but I still panic. I still. The slurp juice, I sometimes I hold on to it too long, forget to drink it. I have a lot of little problems like that. I'm learning to be better.
I'd always had the shield potions. I think I picked up slurp juice for the very first time, or at least the first time I'd noticed it, because I thought it was just a regular shield potion, and I was like, why is this taking so long? What is going on?
And the thing about it is, like, usually when I like play video games or online games, I play with music in my ear, and like Fortnite is one of those games where you have to listen to your surroundings and like those footsteps and everything. So it's hard for me to get used to that.
You're losing a big sense.
For
FPS.
FPS.
I'll listen because when I hear those footsteps, I'm like, all right, what's going on? But when I first started playing, I usually like to play with music, get zoned in.
For FPS, there's a bunch of mechanics that we were just not used to having, especially if you've been playing console online FPSs for a long time. It's just some new senses that you got to use. I mean, the building is one of the biggest things where people can erect things so quickly.
I still don't do. It's not part of my game, and I know it should be. Because people yell at me, "Get high, get up, build high," and I get it because I've seen the advantage these people have against me. I love the little porta forts; those help me because it does the job for me.
Right.
But then one time I was like, "I'm going to build high," and I just built one of those long stairways to heaven.
Yeah.
And I built
and then
like
someone breaks the bottom.
And I didn't realize that, and I fell to my death. It was great fun. So I'm getting better at that side of it there. But sniper rifles too. I've had my first 100-yard plus kill. That was fun. Did that live on Twitch. So there's evidence, there's witnesses, and one grenade kill was the highlight. And I actually put that on my YouTube channel. I was so proud of that one. I just tossed a grenade blindly. So that's part of the fun. Gee, what a violent game.
So what got you started streaming on Twitch? Was it Fortnite, or were you streaming long before that?
No, there was, how do we say this? There was a change in my employment coming. And I was like, how do I find other ways to get myself out there? And I had, I got to give credit to like Adam Hlavik and the gang over, you know, a lot of the core people at Hyper RPG were kind of like, you know, Hlavik, when we worked at Screen Junkies, was explaining to me, you know, you got to do this. And I have kind of a tendency to be like, new technology, I don't understand it. I'll go back to the Commodore. Right. And finally, so I sat down and let's give this a go. And like I had one person watching, and it's kind of weird. And I was playing Battlefront 2 because, you know, I'm a big Star Wars guy, and I actually really do love that game. And then it was like, oh, let me try and get WWE 2K18, and then let me get this. And then people, I felt I wanted to do cooler games, right? Quote unquote cooler games. Because then I got MLB The Show, and I'm a big baseball guy. And not only do I play games, I love the franchise mode where I literally will spend hours negotiating contracts with my players. I get so lost in franchise modes.
Right.
I have my whole life. Even on the Commodore 64, I used to play a baseball game that was like yellow pixels versus white pixels. Was like, it was baseball.
Right.
I named each of the pixels their own players, and I managed my teams on paper. That's at 8 years old I was doing that. So MLB The Show handles that, and it's like, oh, your Class A player, he's up for arbitration or a renewable contract. Like, so I was, I felt kind of guilty, and then people kept saying, hey, try this, try this, try that. And then Fortnite kept coming up, and I was like, I don't know. It's just crazy killing. I'm not going to be good at it.
Right.
People were like, no, just give it a try. So one day I noticed it was free. I did not know it was free, and I finally went in the store. I was like, well, what can I can't lose. Parker Lewis can't lose here. So I loaded it up, and you know what hooked me? That pickaxe, just hacking down trees and stuff. It's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Just gunk, 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 gunk. And I'm always told, you can hold it. You can hold down the controller, Ken. You don't have to click it
every time.
I'm a clicker. click, 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 click. I gotta.
You want to know exactly how many swings you've got.
Yeah,
you're tabulating your swings.
And I think one thing now with the new patch or with season 5, like they're going to do instead of because the battle pass, you can do challenges and stuff like that. They're opening it up for free players now, so you don't have to have like the $10 for a battle pass. So it'll be like weekly challenges are accessible for.
Well, there was always a version of weekly challenges that was available for the free. Like if you weren't part of the battle pass, because there was always that like second tier kind of thing. But I think it was only like 1 or 2.
Yes,
total.
I think they said on here it's like an update where you get a couple more like exclusive. Not exclusive.
I mean, and there's some cool stuff that's coming with that the battle pass this time round. Like all the. You were looking through like some of the skins and stuff like that, all the Viking skins.
They have they have some. I don't want to. I think it's Japanese, like some Japanese type wardrobe stuff. It look pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like this kind of cyberpunky, but also like kind of futuristic, like drift culture kind of.
Reminded me of some
stuff.
like My Hero Academia type stuff that they were wearing.
Are you guys on default skins like me?
Yes. Yes, I am, and I got called out for it last time. It's like, oh yeah, they're going to target you if you're on a default skin.
That's a good idea. I haven't thought of it in those terms. I'm stubbornly default skin, but yeah, I guess they might come after me.
Yeah,
because I have the
figure you're going to
pass,
be an
got
easy
like
kill.
One of the cool ones. But now that they've like opened up more of the challenges to the free version, I think I don't know if I want to get that $10 a month. Save my money and just get the free pass.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, like when it comes to skins and stuff like that in any game, you know, where it's not going to give you an advantage or anything like that, you still want your character to look cool. I remember in Overwatch when they did their first Halloween event, I remember coming home from a Halloween party October 31st because it was, you know, that was when the Halloween event was going to end. And just like, I need to leave this party because I'm going to go drop $20 on loot crates and get the last skins that I want out of this.
Do you play Overwatch?
I do not. I wish I did. I have an acquaintance from when I was doing a lot of Wizard World stuff. Chris, who's a producer for him now, and then is sitting really good with that ESPN Disney pickup. And I think it might be one of the things I finally get down because I'd love to like announce, you know, for esports and stuff. But I'm like, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, the guy's doing the thing.
I tried to like. I went to BlizzCon a while back because I was working for Blizzard at the time covering it, and you know, I love Overwatch, and I hadn't played much Blizzard stuff because I'd never been on PC. I was always a console player, and so I when I was there, they were doing Heroes of the Storm, the championships there.
Yeah.
And, they had them on big screens and things like that. And, game looks pretty. And I played a little bit of it just to kind of, get my eye in. But it's like I'm looking at the screen going, okay, that is a character over there. And that is a character over there. And I've picked out what are characters on this screen. And then the crowd goes crazy. I'm like, what happened? What happened? I don't know yet. The second you really start to understand it and start to understand the mechanics, then you can really get into it. It's the same thing that happened with sports. Yeah. People who don't know how baseball works aren't interested in baseball.
Right.
And the second you know how a sport works, you can get really into the sport. Not too long ago, I've always been a car lover. I love cars, and it was this thing of astronomy versus astrophysics. I know what I could tell you what a car is by what it looks like, but I can't tell you how it works kind of thing. And I was like, I need to correct that in my life. Yeah. So I'm going to, start learning more. And one of the things I started watching Formula One, I was never into it before.
Right.
I started watching it and wasn't into it for the first little bit. And then really started to pick up the way the sport works. And now it's I wake up at 5 a.m. to watch the European races. My wife wakes up and watches it as well because she's into it now.
Yeah.
And you can kind of do that with anything. You can do that with esports. If you out there, if you got a sibling that's really into football and you want to understand football, slog through a season and you will understand football and you will all of a sudden be into this. If there's something that you want to be into, you can push yourself to be into it.
For me recently,
for better or worse.
For me recently, it's been cooking. I mean, I always was good and enjoyed cooking, but I just didn't get into it.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, I need to literally watch YouTube videos on how to cook a better omelet. So there's that. When I stream MLB The Show, I'm a huge baseball guy. I know the game isn't as popular as it used to be, just in general. But I got people on my stream from India who are more familiar with cricket. They're like, I've never watched a baseball game until you streamed it. And we've been talking online. He's comparing stuff in cricket to here. People in Kuwait and UK watching me going, I've never watched a baseball game. I'm starting to understand it. So it's funny how that works, Same thing with just watching people murder each other on an island.
Right. Right. And that's honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with the stuff that I've gotten out of Fortnite just playing the free version. I'm very tempted by the idea of the PvE side of things, especially because it's got story and things like that. And they're adding a new one for season 5. They're adding a Western themed.
Maybe
we'll see. Have you played much of the PvE?
No, not a lot of it, but. With season 5, I might make that move because when I've been playing Overwatch, I kind of took a break because I left my Overwatch game here about a month ago, and then I recently just got it back. I don't know where it popped up, but I've been playing Overwatch.
Oh, it was left in Christian's PS4 for the longest time.
So now I finally got it back. So I've been playing that for a minute now because I've been Fortnite. I've not Fortnited out, but it was refreshing to go back to Overwatch and get back in it especially because they've added a new character. I don't think it's
Hammond.
I don't. Is it unlocked yet?
I know it was in PTE. I started doing the updates and downloads for Overwatch last night just so I can play again this weekend. And I realized that I haven't played since Orisa came out.
Oh, damn.
And I was addicted before that. And then when that character came out, I was like, this character looks fucking stupid. Because every time when a character comes out in Overwatch, the play gets saturated with people wanting to play that character. And I was like, this character looks so stupid. I don't like the mechanics. I don't want to be in the game while everyone is trying to play as Orisa and learn how she works because it's just going to get annoying. And then I never went back into it.
What's your to-go-to, or what character do you use?
Farah.
Okay, I that's one of mine, but my to-go-to is Soldier 76. He's pretty basic, gets the job done, far range.
I was
close to default skin.
I was big into...
Yeah, pretty much. He's the default skin of Overwatch.
I was big into Junkrat for a while, and then I realized because Junkrat is an easy character to play, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to challenge myself a little bit more. But still, it's all about splash damage and stuff like that because my accuracy sucks.
True. And so I wanted to piggyback off of what you said about like if you're not into something like you like going into it. That's pretty much me with Overwatch. But another one I want to give a shout out to, this doesn't relate to it, but My Hero Academia. So I went to Anime Expo this past weekend just to see what's up, and like I saw a whole bunch of these cosplayers with My Hero Academia like cosplaying. I was like, what is this? Like I knew of it, but I felt so out of the loop, and I was like, I need a like if they're like the whole Anime Expo was kind of built around My Hero Academia this year. So I was like, if they're gonna build a whole Anime Expo around this show, it must be fire. So I went home. I went home that night. It's on Hulu, all 3 seasons. Started the first like 2 episodes. I was like, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Like,
there you go.
Because it's like it has a anime aspect, but it's also comic. It has a hero like comic book type of aspect to it. So it's like a really good story that they follow these kids throughout their high school trying to become superheroes. I really love it.
I started playing something that was at Anime Expo. I started playing the Sword Art Online game, Fatal Bullet, and with Sword Art. You know, this is all of a sudden turning into an anime podcast. Sword Art Online's also a game, so it's fine.
Is Ella Fife coming here?
No, she was hosting the Anime Expo live stream, so you know she knows her stuff when it comes to anime.
She does.
But I started watching Sword Art, and I was lukewarm on the series because it was like the concept is cool. Like the big overarching broad concept is cool, and then there are individual moments that are very like gamer specific that are really cool within it, because Ken, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but it's this fully immersive MMO that people get trapped into. It's like, you know, Ready Player One level VR, and then all of a sudden people realize one day they can't take the headsets off. So they're trapped in this like, you know, fantasy world. Yeah, basically. They're trapped in this fantasy world, but it still has like game tropes and things like that. And one of the things that I've loved about it was this guy who was, you know, he's the main character. He was in the beta test, and he's a really good gamer, and like, you know, logged in first day and all that. So he's just really, really, really good, higher level than a lot of other people, but kind of just plays that down the whole time. And he's like, I'm just trying to be a normal guy because now this is life, so I don't want to actually like have to deal with that much. And so like people come up and start attacking him, and like the swords just like start swiping through him, and it's like. And it's like he's not taking any damage. He must like what? There's something weird about him. He's like, no, this is how the game works. I'm just healing faster than you're doing damage to me. And it was like this moment of that is an actual thing that happens in video games.
Right.
So like I love all those tiny little things, and I love the broad arcing like concept. What I didn't like was everything in between that was just either like anime tropes, or the story jumped around, or like everyone is falling in love with the main character and it's becoming a harem anime all of a sudden. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe the video game will have the things that I liked about the game and none of that. The opposite. I played like 3 hours of the game and still hadn't gotten to any combat.
Oh, wow.
Because it was all like... It was all talking and introductions of the concept and meeting the characters from the show and being like, hey, I heard you're the new player who jumped in today and, you know, jumped into the tournament and found a secret weird item that no one else has found before. So you must be pretty special, huh, kid?
There's no like skip mode for people who watch the show.
I was skipping like crazy. I was just like skip. And it just like... I was thinking like maybe I'll post some of my playthrough, and it was just all you're gonna see is skip loading screen, skip loading screen, skip. It was so.
I love games that get that in depth. I'm someone who's spent hours on Red Dead Redemption hunting bears and playing poker, and just walking in the rain. But I also love like a game like Burnout Paradise, which I stream every now and then, where I just love.
I'll jump on with Burnout Paradise. Yeah,
race a bunch of cars around fast with no point. You know. Yeah. Crashing into things.
I played the Crew 2 recently, and Ubisoft was not kind enough to give me an advanced copy to review, and they're very lucky because I would have torn that game apart because I played the open beta and the closed beta, and I was like, maybe the game will be better than this. Oh my god, it just made me miss Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you making me miss a game that's like a decade to 15 years old?
Yeah, but they remastered, re-released it, so I have that version right now, the PS4 version, and it's
I'm
great.
absolutely down to jump in.
Yeah, you got to get that.
You know, like and the fact that they had like you know, just ramps around every corner, billboards around every corner.
Oh, yeah.
You could have a DeLorean out of the DLC. Like you're making my perfect game here.
Ghostbusters car, all that stuff. Yeah, it's fun. And I'm not even like a car guy. I drive my 2007 Camry very slowly, very deliberately, and so I love just getting in there and I'll try to race around that freeway. It's getting therapeutic.
I really want. See, now this might be my spot in Fortnite. Then, like if we go in squad mode, find a golf cart, and maybe I'll just be the driver. Maybe I'll be the wheel man.
I'm down.
Like this is the team strategy. I feel like you need, like someone on support, someone who's going to be like grabbing like someone who's like ready to be the builder,
and someone who has the snacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone is providing the snacks.
So you're driver. Yeah. I'll be tree hack and resource guy.
Okay.
Dorian,
which probably means that you're builder though.
We're gonna have to find a builder. Okay.
Well, I mean,
no, we need a builder.
If you're not walking around with your weapon out,
yeah.
You know, if you're walking around ready to like pop up walls,
I'll
learn.
Because sometimes I'll think like you said, if you're not walking around with a weapon, you just have it on the build mode.
Yeah.
You think you can do? I think I can do better that way. Like if I need to build something, no, it doesn't happen. It's still get destroyed.
I've started setting like right when I land, going over to the build menu, setting it to the diagonal wall.
Yeah, that's a deep.
And then just switching back to setting that so that you have it ready.
You think they'll introduce like other cars and other vehicles in Fortnite?
Well, eventually, because that was one of the things that PUBG had over Fortnite. Was that with PUBG you had vehicles and you know.
I think they'll slowly start rolling them out closer because I know Call of Duty Black Ops 4 they have their battle.
Their battle royale mode is going to have
like vehicles and everything in there. So I think they're going to try to. By the time Black Ops 4 comes out, they're going to. Fortnite will try to at least have a decent amount of vehicles out there. So
like hey, people shit on Black Ops, and especially because Black Ops 2 was such a good game, and then Black Ops 3 had like lost a lot of the audience that way. But the idea of having a battle royale game with some heritage, a battle royale game where all the map is made out of these maps that you've played previously in your life. You know, like it's got a little bit of the original Zombies map. It's got a little bit of Nuketown. It's got a little bit of, you know, all these different spaces that were in not just Black Ops, but the entire Call of Duty franchise, and not just in multiplayer, but things from Zombies, things from the single-player campaigns, all the characters from all those campaigns and stuff as well. This is going to be the first time that happens, and it's in a version of like gameplay mechanic that we recognize, and you know, we're not coming into for the first time. Like PUBG wasn't that revolutionary in its gameplay mechanics. It was.
I never played it, so
I mean, it was pretty much a straightforward first-person shooter, thing. Fortnite, like this is one of the reasons that Fortnite overtook it so much, is that Fortnite also brought so many new things to the table, and you know, the aesthetic also made it able to run on any platform. And
and it's a little, I've heard. Well, as I call it, PUBG is the more realistic version. I'm like, I don't want the realistic version of a murder game. I'll be fine. I'll be on a fake fun island hacking trees and smiling.
Right. And I mean, to a certain extent, like Call of Duty at one point was supposed to be the realistic version of war, and now it's not that. And you know, there are certain people that complain about that. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why is that what you complain about?
Yeah. It's. I always find it very weird, and I get it because I'll play the war games. The Medal of Honor series I loved playing on like PS2, PS3 maybe.
Yeah.
But like, you know, my grandfather was in World War II, and I'm like, I played a video game where he and his buddies were dying. Like, this is weird. Like, what? Take me to some alternate reality. I'm okay with that.
I had the same thought with the Two Towers, man. That you know, the Lord of the Rings game was just just too real.
Yeah,
it's too real. These people really suffered for this, and I can't be a part of this.
Think of the orcs, man. Think of the elves who've come to honor that tradition.
Yeah. No, I mean, like when it comes to those kind of games, I really got into like Battlefield and stuff like that only because that had the early feeling of, I mean, not battle royale necessarily, but
Sure.
really large multiplayer where you could have like 32 people on a single map,
Right.
all playing at once, and that's one of the main things that we get out of battle royale: the idea that you've got so many people playing at the same time, and not in like a WoW MMO kind of way,
Right.
But like you could run into anyone, you can run into multiple people. This can happen, that can happen, and it's not just like 4v4.
Right.
Like squad mode or anything like that. You're getting more out of it.
Yeah, sure. and it's a special kind of shame because you know this is a real person that's killing you in 2 shots with a sniper rifle, but you're trying to build a fort. Yeah.
Have you ever been out in the first 10 in Fortnite?
Yeah. Usually it's some like Tilted Towers. I have a pretty good track record of getting at least top 20, top 15, top 5. I've had a couple top 2s. And that's been interesting because you talk about panic setting in.
Yeah.
It was one time I was on top of a house like an attic, and I was streaming it, and all my watchers were like, "Yeah, you're gonna do this!" And I had the minigun, and I had this, and I had like 200 rounds in each gun. I'm like, "Here we go!" And I heard them climb up to the roof, and they started hacking. It was like a horror movie. It was like, and I'm like, "I'm ready!" Boom! Shot me in the head with one like a shotgun. I was dead.
Right.
And
you have the minigun, and then like you forget to like power it up. Yeah.
I was dead. And then the other one, I had built up. I got into someone else's fort, then I built my own fort on top of that, and I had the other player in my sniper scope. And I was getting and everyone's like, "Oh!" They're on the chat board like, "Here, you're gonna do it!" I lined up and I shot and I missed, and then the storm closed in on me. And now, mind you, have time, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you die immediately. I panicked, like went to a circle and ran deeper into the storm and just died.
Oh no!
Those are my 2 top 2 finishes. So,
and that's the thing. Like, there is no glory to be had in Fortnite.
so embarrassing.
Unless you win, and that like this is one of the things with the battle royale. I wonder if this is gonna, like, the era of battle royale is actually gonna suck some of the toxicity out of the gaming community.
I
because
hope so.
what it means is that, you know, it used to be in any multiplayer game, half of you are losers.
Right.
And now 1%, like 99% of you are losers.
99, exactly. Although I do love the 50-on-50 mode just because it's old school kind of like,
right.
And then you see the battle from afar and you start walking up. You're like, oh, you hear it. You just see all these weapons on the ground from soldiers that have died before you. It's kind of its own brutality mode there.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, see, that was the appeal that I had from Battlefield,
Right.
and the one that got me into that idea was the original Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, for the 2005 version. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the new shit that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff is so depressing when you have a game like that was so good, and then there's the sequel or the remake or the reimagining or whatever,
Right.
and it's like, how do you have less stuff than the 10-year-old version?
All right.
Oh, so I never played the 2005 one. I just went straight to the new Battlefront. So what's the difference, or like?
So one of the things that I loved about, and especially in Battlefront 2, was with the space battles and the ability to land like in opposing cruisers, and like then all of a sudden jump out and be an infantryman. Right. And start.
Wait, you could do that on the old one?
Yeah.
Man, what?
Yeah.
And you could you had all of a sudden everything about an FPS while everyone outside is flying ships and things like that, and you can take out the Star Destroyer from the inside.
Yeah.
Like you could go outside and shoot the shield and life support and whatever, like all those things that are on the bottom of the ship, or you could go in the hangar, land inside, and go and destroy the computers that ran that stuff.
Yeah.
Why did they take that away?
I don't know why. I am a fan of the new Battlefront 2. To be clear, I think they're beautiful games, but they get repetitive very easily. So there was some of the magic from that Battlefront 2 was. I mean, the Mustafar level was one of my favorites, and the use of soundtrack. There's a lot of great things, and it did seem to, I don't want to say lost something, but it was a really different version, and it always has been, and I don't know why.
Well, and so it was always. I don't think it was hugely multiplayer. It was like 8v8, something like that, which at the time for 2005 that was huge.
Right.
But also on top of that, there were a bunch of NPCs running around as well as infantrymen, so it felt like 30 on 30.
Damn.
Right.
And you would just occasionally run into people that were being controlled, but they didn't look any different. Maybe they had a name above them and that was it.
But still all felt real.
It still felt like it felt really immersive because of that.
Yeah, now I want to play it.
Yeah,
it's worth a shot. Go down memory lane and have fun and play it. Yeah, especially the second one, Battlefront 2. There was a great.
I think I still have an Xbox One, not an Xbox One, an original Xbox copy.
Yeah,
because it was PS2 and Xbox, but only the Xbox version was 4-player couch co-op. The PS2 one was only 2-player.
Yeah,
and I have 3 younger brothers, so like we literally had a PS2 at the time. And walked down to GameStop, took in the PS2, got an Xbox, and got that game. I was like, this is how we have to do it now.
I remember the 2 and 2. Me and my friends back in the day, but it was like that or Tony Hawk. We alternate and just play to the end of the evening till our brains fell out. Yeah.
Well, I think we should definitely be jumping on some squad mode as on Fortnite.
Yeah.
Get Copster involved as well, and maybe he'll push us into. Push us out of our comfort zones.
He's a good captain. He's a good leader.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is it for us today on the Collider Games podcast. Thank you so much for checking it out. Be sure to check out all the crazy things that we're doing. Ken, where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, man, you can find me at Ken Napzok across all social media platforms, including Instagram TV with my daily, weekly, Monday through Friday motivations are on there. And then on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ken Napzok. I don't have a regular schedule. It's just tough for me to lock something down. So just follow me and you'll get the notifications.
And you guys already know Dorian Parks and Rec across social media, except my Instagram is Dorian Parks, but Twitter Dorian Parks and Rec because Parks and Recreation is better than The Office. I'll say that every time, but that's for a different debate. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Joey Rasool, RASSOOL. You can also find me on Twitch every Tuesday from 6 to 9, playing Dungeons & Dragons in high school on twitch.tv/Maze Arcana. The show is called Arcana High. So if you guys want to check that out, it's basically just Riverdale set in Faerun.
Perfect.
And it's fun as shit. So you should check it out. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.